Boeing Company Analysis with VingeGPT.com. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel.
Welcome back, investors. Welcome to a new video on our YouTube channel. Today we'll be speaking about a company that you probably know, and you have been probably flying one of those airplanes somewhere in your life, which is Boeing, the US headquartered company. So as always, I'm showing you on the left-hand side some type of information related to Boeing. On the right-hand side, I'm going to show you how to use actually Vinge for looking at Boeing. So first things first, so on Boeing, of course, I'm looking at the investor relations website, and I like to go and just to give you a sense of what is going on with Boeing and showing you the last quarterly results of Boeing, so the presentation that they have updated. So you see actually that Boeing, I mean, you probably know that Boeing has had some issues lately, specifically with the 737 MAX, where they had two unfortunately deadly accidents. So I'm showing you here as well the links to the Wikipedia. So there was, I think that was the first one, the Lion Air flight, and then there was a second one, which was the Ethiopian flight that crashed due to a problem on the 737 MAX. So Boeing has been a lot in, let's say, in turbulences, and also as well, if you're interested, I mean, there has been a couple of days ago, there was a hearing from the Boeing CEO who had to testify in front of the Senate, and actually the guy was grilled by some senators. So it was really not a very good experience, and a lot of, I mean, there was one specific senator, I think the guy was called Josh Hawley. I'm not sure if I'm spelling this correctly, but he was actually grilling the CEO about people claiming that the CEO was actually not really taking care of safety of the products, and even had tried to manipulate the way how their airplanes were certified lately and to pass those tests with the FAA. So yeah, I mean, Boeing is in trouble, that's for sure. And if you look at, I mean, coming back to their latest quarterly release, you see that their operating margin is going down a little bit. They have been having some issues also on cash and marketable securities. You see that the amount of cash has been going down and cash equivalents. The debt has been going down, which is a good sign. But here, for example, I don't know if you see my mouse here, you see that they are rated like BBB negative. So also something just to show you how those rating agencies feel about Boeing. A BBB negative is the last level. Here you see the rating scale, or the credit rating scale, is the last rating before going into non-investment grade investments. So they consider that the amount of debt, so if it is S&P Moody's, so showing back you here, if you look at S&P, it's BBB minus, Moody's is Baa2, and Fitch is BBB negative. So if you put it here, you see actually that one is putting them here, the other ones are putting them here. So it's like, beyond that, let's say the amount of debt that the company carries versus, let's say, its overall financial health is becoming no longer an investment grade investment. And I'm gonna show this to you now in Vinge, how you can look at this. So the first thing, as always, is we have to warm up the model, as it will be the first prompt. I'm gonna ask Vinge, do you have Boeing in your companies? Let's do that first. And what I'm gonna show you here, actually, I'll try to show you, we will not speak about intrinsic valuation today, but I'm gonna show you how in Vinge you have access to some elements that are interesting. And I'm coming specifically back to the fact that the CEO has been grilled by the senator, and that employees have been complaining about what is going on now at Boeing, and some people, and I'm now just kind of reflecting what also the senator has been saying, is that the CEO has more a focus on profitability than really taking care of safety and security in the company. And I mean, the Lion Air and Ethiopian Airlines incident was not just the only incident. They had now a couple of weeks ago an incident where part of an airplane actually, so the side of an airplane actually went off. I think it was an Alaska Airlines, if I'm not remember, flight. So yeah, so you see that Vinge indeed has the Boeing in its investment universe. And what we're going to ask now, actually, we want to first ask Vinge to show me the share price evolution of the company from 2015 until today. So let's try to do that. And I'm expecting that Vinci will now show here a graph, very probably. So just to show you, I mean, you're gonna probably, maybe if you're interested in Boeing, you know that the share price has come down. And of course, COVID did not help. Let's be very clear. So you see that the share price before COVID went up, then COVID came in, and now again it went up, and now it came down with the problems that they are facing. So what we could do now, actually, when we are analyzing a little bit, let's say, the financial health of the company, I'd like to have a graph where I can compare the net income with the cash, with the debt, because if you remember here on the left-hand side, I was looking here at the debt is going down, but I see cash coming down as well. And I'd like to know a little bit also how equity looks like, because here they're actually, I mean, they're not making profits, they're making losses. So I'd like to know a little bit what is going on, and I want to have this in a visual way. So let me ask Vinci this. Show me in a graph the net income. Let's look as well at equity, debt, cash, and free cash flow. And let's do the same years from 2015 until today, in fact. Until today. Yes, let's do that. And because I'm interested to see, I mean, as you see on the left-hand side, the company is now generating the revenues are going down globally. The free cash flow is negative. They are making a loss, so the net income is negative as well. So I like to know a little bit like the longer story. What you can do as well in Vinci is, I mean, Vinci being powered by ChatGPT+, you can click on the graph, and you see here I've zoomed in. So I understand what is going on. You see that in yellow, the net income has come down. So you see here, this is a line of 0. And I know the graphs today in ChatGPT+ are not perfect yet, as you would expect, but we see that the company is actually in negative territory from a profitability perspective since COVID. We see that the amount of debt has been increasing a lot. So here, if I look, they say actually, they claim that the debt is at 47. So yeah, so well, probably now I should show the data points, because here I have the graph here. But you see that indeed it was the debt above 50 billion US dollars, and should now be at 47. And in terms of cash, the cash has come down from 16 to 7.5. But for example, here on the cash, I mean, the amount of cash that they had in the past was always around like 10 billion. So it does not worry me too much. What worries me a little bit is that the amount of debt that the company has since COVID has increased like crazy. What is good is that they are reducing the debt, and this is what they are showing on the left-hand side as well. What is interesting as well is when you look at the free cash flow, yeah, the free cash flow is negative. Of course, here COVID hit, but the free cash flow is still negative. So they are destroying cash every year and every quarter. And last but not least, the amount of equity. So this part, the amount of equity is negative. So the company has a negative equity, which is something that I really do not like. Now, so that's one way. Of course, I could now say, perform me a level 1 analysis on Boeing. We could do that. But of course, I'm expecting the price to earnings to be negative. Oh, now I did not specify using the latest financial data. So let's see if Vinci recognize that it has to use the latest financial data. Otherwise, I have to prompt the model and saying using the latest financial data. What I'm going to show you now as well, after the level 1 analysis, and of course the earnings and the cash flow being negative, doesn't make sense that we calculate intrinsic value. Yeah, so here it comes. So you see the price to earnings is negative. There is no dividend yield. The return on assets, the ROIC is negative. So of course, I mean, the company is not generating profits. The equity is negative. That's confirmed here, and you have here now the interpretation. What I'm more interested in asking Vinci is coming back to what I was saying, and coming back to this YouTube video I was listening to a couple of days ago about the senator grilling the CEO of Boeing, is like, how are customers and employees feeling about the company? And that's actually something that we have trained Vinci, and we are updating those data points at least 2 to 3 times per year. So I would ask Vinci here, can you tell me what is the employee and customer sentiment about Boeing? So let's see if Vinci can tell us this, because I mean, it looks like employees are not happy about what is going on at the company. And so here you see the data points that we have. So when you look at employee sentiment, let me just wait until the analysis is finished. You see actually here that the employee sentiment is negative, which is not good. So that's the current CEO. That's the guy that you see here on the screen here. And you have the CEO approval rate, and if the company would be recommended to a friend, and what is a positive business outlook. What now would be interesting is to compare can you compare the customer and employee sentiments with the biggest competitor of Boeing, which is Airbus, with Airbus, and show me the results, sides. There is a typo, we don't care, side by side in a comprehensive table. Let's do that, and let's see. So Airbus is part of our investment universe, and we have customer and specifically employee data points about Airbus as well. So let's see if Vinch figures it out correctly with this prompt. And to show you actually how you can use Vinch to get other type of elements which are not only financial metrics about the company, but just to get a feeling about what is going on in the company. So you see, for example, the Net Promoter Score, which is how customers feel about Boeing versus Airbus. The Net Promoter Score is more positive for Airbus. What is interesting is when you look at the employee Net Promoter Score, you see it here, is that according to the latest data, the employee Net Promoter Score of Airbus is +32, while at Boeing it's a -4, which is negative. And you see the CEO approval rate is just 57% at Boeing and 86% at Airbus. So just to show you how actually you can use Vinch to not only analyze, so coming back here and scrolling up, so not only analyzing a company, you can use graphs for this, and I mean you can prompt and create your custom graphs that you can then afterwards also download for your presentations. Here I did a level 1 analysis. Of course I'm not doing a level 2 analysis because it doesn't make sense. The company is making negative, so it's printing losses, so the intrinsic value would be in any case negative. But what is interesting here as well is a prompt that I used here, which is actually, can you tell me what is the current employee and customer sentiment? You could just ask the employee sentiment, of course, right? I mean, the model is flexible. That's the advantage of using a large language model. So that's gonna stop here. I hope that this video is useful to give you like a sense of what is going on at Boeing very quickly. Of course, you can go deeper into it and maybe listen to this video from the hearing of the Boeing CEO that testified in front of the Senate Homeland Security Committee. And I mean, the guy had really a tough time. It was not easy for him. So with that, thanks for your attention, and talk to you in the next video. Thank you very much.
VingeGPT.com